Hey guys, Gather Magic back again. This is part two of the Market Watch, episode number 20 for September 22nd, 2024. So we're going to go through kind of a deep dive into all the different sets and cards. We can kind of get a feel for how many cards are on the market and how prices have moved over the last 2 weeks. So in part two, I went through all the numbers and gave you just kind of the range of each of the rarities of each of the sets. Now we're actually going to take a look and see like how many cards are in circulation, how many are on the market, the prices, and so forth. So looking at alpha commons, so there are 20 alpha commons in the base set. And typically the commons have ranged, from 40 to 50 cents for most of the cards. As you can see here, other than the bottom four, all the other cards are trending, $1.74 and higher. Up to your top couple cards, the Divine Healer is $6. There's only 6 copies available. The Pirate Captain is also sitting at $6, just a single copy. Flesh Golem just under 5, Giant Rock at 5. So a lot of these were buyouts that people bought the cards out and relisted higher. The Silver Shield Warrior typically had been one of the lower price cards. This had been a card, 35, 40 cents, and now you can see there's 44 copies available. But look at the price, and you can see who the seller is here, who probably bought them all up. And then look, there's Jarvie. You recognize that name. So now they're selling single copies, for $5 plus. So not a whole lot of these cards on the market, being alpha cards, but it just kind of shows how quickly prices can change from what is the perceived norm. Like I said, over the months that I've been doing this, it's been pretty consistent where these cards have trended, right around, like I said, 50 cents to $1. But now we can see, a couple people come in, decide they want to buy them out, relist them higher. Market can move very, very quickly. So those are your common cards. Looking at the rares, the rare cards, I think I mentioned in part one, typically have been around $1 or just under $1 for some of the low-end rares. Now you can see the cheapest rare is actually a summoner at $3. And then there are only 4 copies of the Stone Golem available. You can see $200 is the price here. And yes, that is for a single BCX. There's also a single BCX for $282 and a single BCX for $288. And then one for $555,000. So someone can come in, buy the cards off the market, and just relist them for ridiculous prices. But one of the things I just kind of want to emphasize over and over is just how small our market is. I mean, even with the small player base that we do have, it doesn't take a lot of money or many people to just completely wipe some of these cards off the market, and then just the prices can just go crazy. Let's look at the epic cards. So now you can see these cards are in the 1,000 to 1,300 total cards in circulation. I'm kind of surprised that these cards haven't moved yet, because if you're looking at the rares, and the cheapest rare is $3 to let's say about 12 to 14 for a rare, then why do you got epics that are under 5? So I'm thinking very soon these epics are going to get scarfed up, and you're going to see epics in the $10 to $30 range, would be my guess. The one thing that has been consistent for alpha has been the legendary prices. The low end ones have usually been around 20 to 120 to 150 for the high end. But once again, if you see there's only, just a handful of these cards on the market, someone that's got, maybe a few $100, maybe $1,000 could come and just wipe every card off the marketplace. So those are your alpha cards, and you can see the total cards in circulation, when you're looking at, under 500 cards in circulation for all of these. So let's look at the gold foil versions. So like I said in part one, the low end price of these have drifted lower. Several months ago it was, 15 to 20 bucks was the low end for the alpha gold foils. Now you've got some under 12, 11, 1050. But look at how rare these cards are. There's only, 300, less than 400 copies. And these are commons. These are not legendaries or epics. These are commons, and it just shows how few of these there are in existence. Love these cards because of the gold. It is extremely easy to see in a gold alpha card. A majority of the card is gold. I like these a lot better than Rebellion, where you really have to look at the card to determine whether it's gold or not. These are all of the gold foil cards too as well. These are not separated by rarity. This is all of them in circulation, the entire set that is available. So in Alpha, I believe there are, is it 59 cards total available? I think there's 20 commons, 20 rares, 10 epics, and 9 legendaries. And you can see out of the 59, there's only 41 of them that are in gold foil for sale on the marketplace. So these are it when it comes to your gold foil Alpha cards. Let's look at the promos. So your promo cards, you had one of each rarity, each of course being a dragon. So the dragon common is sitting under $3. You can see only 7 available, 1,500 in circulation. The rare, just under 16, 9 available, 420 in circulation. The epic, just under 54, 2 of them listed, 157 available. And then Shin Lo, there's only 4 on the market, only 91 in circulation and 147 available. And then the gold versions, there's only the common and the rare available. Common for 43 and the rare for 119. So those are your Alpha cards. Let's look at Beta. Let's just look at the commons and see if there's any strange anomalies or any buyouts that's happened over the last 2 weeks. Still a lot of great cards in this set. If you do play in Wild, there's some key cards that you can get in this set for just pennies. Creeping Ooze, Silver Shield Knight, even a card like Giant Rock has its uses with flying. Pirate Captain, love that card. Gelatinous Cube, the Spider, 2 range damage for 3. So a lot of good cards in this set. Sea Monster for 14 cents. Magic Sneak, which is a very rare ability in the game. Not too many sneak monsters hit you with magic. Goblin Sorcerer for 17 cents. Cobalt Miner, another good sneak card for 19 cents. I think I've mentioned in other videos that for me, one of the harder slots to fill are the 2 mana slots. So I like looking for cards like this that I'm able to put in Little League and put if I don't have a lot of mana. It's a very nice card to have in your collection. So the high-end beta common right now is a Feral Spirit sitting at 75 cents, a little bit higher than normal. Normally I think this card would be maybe a 20-25 cent card, but as you can see there's only 11 in circulation. So there's a decent amount of these. Of some of them you can see 50s, 70s, 80s, but then there's others that you can see have obviously been bought out. When you get into the single digits or under 20, that probably was a buyout. But yeah, love the artwork on the cards, love the look at, I like the beta card frame and look better than I do Alpha. But then of course, Alpha being the first set is always to me my favorite. Okay, looking at rares. So your rares, you're looking at 17 cents for the floor. Make sure it uploads the correct picture here. There we go. So 17 cents for the floor. Got Chicken for 33 cents. Summoner for 42 cents. Enchanted Pixie, love that card. Neutral, Flying, Little League, Magic Damage, 61 cents. So the anomalies here, as you can see, usually it's Ulrich Stormbringer is the most expensive card. He's generally $4 to $5. But now you can see Air Elemental sitting at $4.45. Prismatic Energy, which is a very good card, neutral card, love it for the Magic Reflect. It's great for the neutral only or only Magic rule sets, sitting at $5. This should be a $1.50, $2 card, or has been, so this one is spiked up. Explain to me why this card is more than Ulrich Stormbringer. Oh look, there's only 6 available. It was probably bought out and relisted, because typically this card is below Tyrus. So if Tyrus is sitting at 42 cents, this is normally probably a 30-35 cent card. Twisted Jester, great card, love the card, but it's not worth $6.45 compared to the other ones. This should probably be, a 50 cent card. Okay, looking at your epics, so 43 cents, 47 cents is the floor price. You can see some of these very low liquidity, under 10 copies of a lot of these, and these are only epics. Up to $6.45 for the Phantom Soldier. And then for your legendary cards, $4.70 for the Fallen Spectre is the floor. Kraken sitting just under 8. Ruler of the Seas under 15. Lord Arianis 14. And now look at this price right here. Valnamor typically 120 bucks, almost like clockwork every time I do the market watch. Why is it 470? It's a level 2, so it is 3 BCX, but still you're paying 156 BCX per card for that 470. Other than this, there's a level 3 available for 618. And once that's gone, there's 4 max copies that are going to run you at least 1,000. So this is the cheapest card per BCX. So $90 per BCX is not bad. You know, this is what the card normally goes for in single copies, but there's no single copies on the available. So that's why you see the $470 price. So if someone lists a single copy, by the next time I do the market watch, this is probably going to be back down to 120 or $125. Lord of Darkness, this is a card I think it has been undervalued. I think I've seen the alphas even down to $25. So seeing it closer to 50 makes more sense to me. Cryptmancer sometimes goes in the $35 to $50 range, so this is a little bit low, I think, for Cryptmancer. Same for Prince Renan, very great, very good legendary card. Under $25 seems kind of cheap to me. Should be probably closer to 50, but it is what it is with the market. So you can see the prices here. Look at the very low liquidity of these cards and how many are in circulation. Anywhere from 6 to 900 it looks for most of these legendaries. The reason Ruler of the Seas, I believe, is a lot higher is some of these were reward cards, so that's why there is a lot more of those. Okay, let's look at the gold foil versions. So your gold foil commons, let's see if there's anything that was bought out or any weird anomalies in price here. There we go. So $1.33 for the cheapest. Saber Shark, I love that card. $1.75. There's some good bargains to be had. And like I've mentioned in previous videos, these beta gold foils start out at level 4, not level 3. So you get a little bit more bang for your buck starting at a level higher than some of the current gold cards. Highest price, Wood Nymph, $90. Probably was a buyout. As you can see, it's the only copy. Same thing with Undead Minotaur. This should probably be a $2 or $3 card, not 33. Flesh Golem, 3 copies, $18.50. About right. Maybe slightly overpriced. I would put it like maybe $12.50 to $15. But still, it's a great card. You can't complain when you're getting a level 4 gold beta Flesh Golem for under 20 bucks. Okay, let's look at the rares. Anything unusual here? So now you're getting cards in the 3 to 600 print range. $6 for the low end. Up to $25 for an Ulrich, I think, is a great buy. A chicken for $35. So okay, which would you rather have, chat? Would you rather have a gold foil chicken for $35 or a gold foil summoner that gives you +1 magic for $25? Which is the better deal? Let me know in the comments. And Naga Windmaster, great card, but is it $29 good? It might be a little bit overpriced. Okay, let's look at the epics. So now we really start getting thin in the liquidity when you start getting the epics and legendaries. You can see a lot of these single copies, 2 or 3, not very many on the market. Cheapest is the Brownie at just over $29, and the high-end cards are sitting at $300 and just single copies of each, and only just over 100 in circulation. And then finally your gold foil legendaries. You can see the very short list. Most of these legendary cards do not have gold foil versions available for sale. Baltimore at $22.50, and then the Peak Rider sitting at $33.20. Let's look at promos. So your promo cards. So these are all the promo cards for beta. Delwyn for quite a while was 50 to 75 cents. It's just been going down, down, down in price, which is good for people that need to pick up a Dragon Summoner for cheap. Now you do need a lot of copies of him to level since he is a common, but not until you get to the higher levels. So, it's not until, once you get past level 6 that it really starts going up in how many copies you need. So if you simply want to get just a silver level Dragon Summoner, 25 copies is not bad. That's going to run you just, a little over $5, $6 to get a silver level Dragon Summoner with +1 magic, so definitely keep that in mind. The other promo cards, nothing really too special about them. And then, of course, your legendary ones, your Archmage Arius and your Prince Julian are just, you know, the best of the best, the rarest of the rare. And gold foil versions, you can see the only ones available are the Dragon Summoner for $6.87, which is the cheapest I've seen it in a couple of months, so just want to make note of that. And then the Dragling Bowman sitting at $18. Okay, what else do we want to look at beta? Let's look at Orbs. Orbs is a very small set. In fact, we can look at the entire set on one page. So here are your commons, 5 to 10 cents. Nothing outrageous here. Seems about right for the strength of the cards, number in circulation. Your rares usually are around, you know, that 25 to 35 cent range, you know, with Silver Shield Bard being the highest, so that's about right. Your two epics have floated around in the $1 to $2 range, so these seem pretty normal. Corrupted Pegasus sitting at $6.95. Sometimes I see this go up to 11 or 12, so this is kind of low for this card. So if you don't have any of these cards, you know, to get an older card like this from Orbs for $6 to $7 is really worth it. Since a pack is going to run you $6 to $7 anyway, you might as well just spend that $6 to $7 and just buy the legendary rather than buy the pack, open it, and get like 3 Armor Smith and an Electric Eel. So just a little bit of advice there. Okay, let's go to Untamed. Look at the base set for Untamed. So you're looking at, you know, a penny, 2 cents for the commons, pretty much normal for Untamed. Decent liquidity, decent amount in circulation of most of these cards. So your high-end cards usually are the Failed Summoner and the Serpentine Spy are the top two. But as you can see, only 9 copies of Lone Boatman, so this one was probably bought out, and 14 copies of both of these. So these are bought out and just relisted higher. If you've been watching the video for quite a while, this series, you know that these 2 cards are usually, like I said, 2 of the most expensive and 2 of the better cards in the commons in this. So if you need to pick up a Failed Summoner, you know, 13 cents is not bad. Same thing with Serpentine Spy. Let's look at the rares. 5 cents is your cheapest rare. Looks like a decent amount of most of these cards in the market. Shield Bearer, great card, 23 cents. Summoner for 34. Unicorn Mustang, another good card, 58 cents. Couple Summoners. This is the one that has kind of spiked in price over the last 2 weeks. Contessa is usually 20 to 40 cent range, so to see her at $1.05 is kind of an anomaly. Usually Bortus is the most expensive rare summoner from this set. Looking at epics, 20 cents for Torhilo the Frozen. Up to $8.75 for the Chief, so this card is kind of overpriced compared to the others, so this should probably be a $2 card, but as you can see with only 3 copies available, it was bought out and relisted higher. So $1.50 to $2.50 seems normal for an epic from Untamed. And then for legendary, the floor just over $1, and then the big movement, which I mentioned in part 1, was Kron. You know, Kron had been drifting under 10, then 9, then 8, then he was in the low 7s. I'm like, how low can it go? And all of a sudden, Kron disappeared off the market. As you can see, there's 2 single copies available for $30 a piece. But then after that, if you're willing to spend just a little bit more, you can get a level 3, 6 BCX for $36.47. So if you got this much cash to spend, just do a little bit more and you can get a level 3. Other than that, there's 2 max copies available. Actually decent prices, you know, $66, you know, just over $6 per BCX to get a max Kron is not bad at all. And then your only other copy, a max level copy, is just over $90. So Krons are drying up off the market. Kitty, let's take a look at Kitty. So $95. So there's 2 available under $100, and then after that, 2 available basically around $190. And after that, it jumps to $242, and then you start getting into the multiple BCX. So there's only 5 single copies of Kitty on the market. Okay, next let's look at the gold foil versions. Let's start with the commons. So our common gold foils, right around 50 cents for the low end. So the high end cards, like I said, generally are the Spy, Failed Summoner, maybe Sandworms up there. So to see the Crystal Jaguar, you know, this card should be probably 50, 60 cents. So this one was a buyout. This one, you know, should not be the price that it is. But generally overall, you know, going from 50 cents to 250 is about right for a common. Looking at your rares, now you're getting at just under $2 for some of the cheapest rares. Up to $12.50 for Child of the Forest, $7.25 for the Dragon Summoner. Moving to epics. Now we're getting in that $9 to $10 range for the epics, $22 for Axemaster, up to just under $45 for Shadowy Presence. And then the legendary cards, the one everyone likes to look at, Phantom of the Abyss. I just lost to this in ranked battles not too long ago, not the gold foil version, but guy put it in the front and I just could not hit it. So he's sitting at just under 60. Kron that we talked about earlier, regular foil is 30, the gold foil is just under 200. Kitty's still sitting at 650 for a gold foil, Jotun just under 480. And let's look at the promo cards. There's only 3 promo cards. Alchemist going for $1.50, Chain Golem for $9.75. As I mentioned in part 1, there are 2 copies of the Mighty Dricken. Oh, they are max level, so it's not 10,000 per BCX. It's only 909 per BCX, but still, $10,000 for a max level Dricken, or you can wait, and when that one sells, you can pick one up for 69,000. Let's take a look at the gold foil versions. So the Chain Golem and Halfling Alchemist are the only gold foil versions, no Mighty Dricken. And these prices are pretty much the same as they were 2 weeks ago, so not a whole lot of movement there. Okay, moving on to dice. Common cards, 2 to 15, 20 cents is the norm. So the Naga Brute is overpriced at 45 cents, and the Frost Lion is way overpriced at 89 cents. This is generally a 4 or 5 cent card, so definitely do not buy that card at 89 cents. Wait for that to come down. The rares are what I wanted to talk about. Typically, it's always been Mylor that is the most expensive. He's sitting at $1.50. But this week there was a big price spike in Ouster. So the cheapest Ouster now is sitting at $3.65. And that is for a single copy. So there's only 4 single copies on the market for up to $4. And then there's 3 max level copies, and there's nothing in between. So it's all or nothing when it comes to Ouster. 80 cents, 90 cents for Lorna Shine. 64 cents for Bright and Bloom. So Bright and Bloom has come down a little bit. That one had spiked a couple weeks ago up to the #1 position, but now she's down to where she has been, you know, just under $1. Okay, epics. The 3 epics are 20 cents to 85 cents. And the legendaries, $2.27 for the Lensmaster, up to $42 for Epona. And Krallis is sitting at 12. All right, so let's move on now to the gold foil versions. Okay, so for the gold commons, you're looking at 65 cents for the cheapest card, up to $3.75 for the Flamesmith. For your rares, which are your summoners, you can see here Mylor still that had that huge price spike. I picked up a Mylor 2 months ago, I believe, when it was around $10, $12. Very happy to get a card at that price. So glad I did, because now the cheapest one is 100. I still think Lorna Shine at 750 is a great deal, along with Bright and Bloom at $5 for a gold summoner, especially this one that gives flying. But don't overlook even Ouster. You know, the regular card is sitting at what, 350-ish? We just looked at it. Why not pick up the gold foil for the same price? So I expect this card to tick up in price. I think that's really cheap for what that summoner gives you. And then epics are right around 9-10 bucks. That's about right. And then for your legendary, I've not seen a gold foil opponent in quite a while. Usually it's Crowless and Aganju, I believe is how you say it, are usually the two highest priced gold foil legendaries. Okay, so that's it for dice. Let's move on to Chaos Legion. So Chaos Legion, like I said in the first video, of course there's not a lot of movement in the base cards, but now it's a good chance to look at the soulbound cards that are able to be unlocked and sold on the market if there's been any movement there. Let's just look at the regular foils for now. So as you can see, the card that has always been the highest priced common has been the Scavo Hireling, anywhere from 6 to 10 cents, but now it's actually the Chaos Agent is up to 7. The other soulbound cards had been like 4 cents to 5 cents. Now we actually have a couple that have hit 6 cents, the Coastal Sentry and Dumaki Orc. Okay, looking at the rares, the big movement in the rares, the low end, 2 cents, pretty much what everyone expects. But then when we get to the more expensive ones, Obsidian at 10 cents is about as low as I've seen it. General Sloan is always the cheapest summoner, sitting at 7. Thaddeus Brood is 11. But now we start getting into the soulbound cards. Now the summoners had been 17, 18 cents, but look at the summoners now. So now you got summoners at 20 cents, 21, 22, up to 25 cents for the soulbound. So the summoners are moving up in price for the soulbound versions. And the one anomaly, as you can see, I'm not sure why Tarsa is up to 30 cents a piece. She's generally down here, so I would expect Tarsa to be 10 to 12 cents a piece, not 30. So this one is kind of an anomaly this week. And then your epic cards, 9, 10 cents for the floor for your epics. In the base set of Chaos Legion, up to 25 cents for the Magi of Chaos. Getting to the soulbound cards that are now unlocked. Now the low end is 91 cents, up to $1.10 for Noah the Just. So these are starting to tick up a little bit in price. We get to the legendary cards, looking at 43 cents for a Fiend. All the way up to you get to your legendary summoners. You're sitting at just over $2 for some legendary summoners. $4 for Lily, $4.20 for Possibilis, and $5.21 for Immortalis. Your soulbound cards, you're looking at $4.30 for Soriel, up to Iziar, which had been $4.30, $4.40, is now at $6.50. So I would not be surprised if in a couple of months we see a $10 Iziar. Let's look at the gold foil versions. So gold foils, not a whole lot of movement for the base Chaos set. Once you get into the soulbounds, now the soulbounds are getting up to the $1.25 to $1.35 range. Your rares, 45 cents to 50 cents for the floor, up to just over $1. Man, if you told me like 6 months ago you could pick up gold foil summoners for $1 or $2, I'd be like, really? But that's even a Kelia. I remember Kelia, $8 to $10, $12 for a gold foil. Now it's $1.60. Oh, this is the card I wanted to point out. Madcap Magus, only one on the marketplace. They're asking $130. The gold foil summoners are around $5. Gold foil epics, my favorite cards for land. Still a bunch of them under $3. Up to $6.50 for Magi Necrosi, and then after that, the soulbound ones, you're looking at $22.50, up to a single copy of Idri Fire for $229. So looks like these are going to be consistently in the 25 to 40 range for the gold foil epics. And then your legendaries, like I said in part 1, the low ends come down a little bit. I expected the floor to go to 20, but there's still quite a few that are under $20 in that 16 to 19 range. Your most expensive are, of course, your soulbound. So your soulbound are anywhere from 109 for the Drybone Raider, up to 200 for Musa Celine, 123 for Iziar. Okay, let's go to promos. So for your promo cards, the bear, 7 cents. Vruz saw a spike up to 20 cents. $1 for the gold foil bear, $2 for Vruz. O'Sure came back down to 8. Dr. Blight at 11. Zerial sitting at 16. Gold foil, O'Sure and Dr. Blight, mid 40s. Zerial sitting at 137. Lux Vega, the big spike in price up to 320, along with Waka sitting at 400. And 3 gold foil Wakas, cheapest being at 800. Let's go to Rift Watchers quickly, so I don't keep you guys too long. Let's look at the commons. Rift Watchers is nice. It's such a small set. Great set. 1 cent to 10 cent for the commons. Decent amount of cards for sale. Hitting the rares, you're looking at 5 to 41 cents for Queen of Crows. Like I've said before, some of the best rares, I think, overall for any set. Your epics, the one big movement this week was Ilthane is no longer the top summoner. It is now Thispa, sitting at $1.83. And then for your legendaries, Runemancer sitting at $1.20, up to Inevitable, which is back down to a more realistic price of $19. So the prices on these have come down quite a bit over the last 2 weeks. It's the only card above $10 now. Even you can see Coral Lurker is $6. So these are probably the most affordable that I've seen them in quite a while, especially Ra. I think Ra is a very underrated card, and see that for only $2. It's kind of surprising to me. Let's look at the gold foil versions. So your commons, 16 cents to 91. Your rares, 68 cents to $4 for the Queen of Crows. Your epics, Thispa is the highest regular card, but the gold foil is still under 6, and Ilthane is still 15. So there might be an opportunity there for anyone that's interested in gold foil Thispa. And then your legendaries, you're looking at $22 up to $400 for C-Rec. Okay, let's wrap this up quickly with Rebellion. So let's just start with the core Rebellion cards. I don't think there's a whole lot of movement in the normal foils until you get to the legendaries. So you're looking at 5 cents to 24 cents for the commons. For the rares, 15 cents for the Demon, up to $1.51 for the Moxian Rebel. Your epics, you're looking at 68 cents for Executioner Kron, up to $2.75 for Cror. Usually it's Captain Failblade's the most expensive, so this one has seen quite a bit of movement over the last 2 weeks to grab that #1 epic spot. And then for your legendaries, $3.75 is your cheapest legendary. Other than that, you start hitting $5 plus. Went over a lot of the key cards in part 1. You can see the prices here. Tofu, when I did the video earlier this morning and got the data, Turno Tofu was sitting at $29.99. You can see that price is now already spiked up to $37.50. So a lot of movement on this card, and it's very, very desirable. Let's look at the gold foil versions quickly. So 65 cents for a common, up to $4.03. Your rares, you're looking at $2, low $2 range, up to $15 for the Soothsayer. Gold foil epics, pretty much in that $20 range, so 20 to 25 bucks. A couple low-end ones at 17, up to 27.78 for Palace. And then the gold foil legendaries. Look at this page and look at the low numbers. So $60 is your cheapest, up to Eternal Tofu sitting at $2.95 for the cheapest, 4 copies available. Venka at $2.75. The new card, Elias Max Pruitt, sitting at $1.60. You can see the prices here, very low. Look, 2 of the Squirrel, 3 of Lorcas, so not very many of these on the market at all. So Rebellion is really holding its value. Let's look at the reward cards, now that we can look at the reward cards. So this is kind of cool. So your commons are selling in the 7 to 12 cent range, 13 cent range. Gold foils are selling $2.50 to $4.74. So this is actually under burn, so I don't think this will last very long. Your rares, 36 cents to 55. Gold foils up to $25 for Commander Slade. For your epics, $1.67 to $3.24 for the normal foil. Get into the gold foil, you're looking at 44 to 60. And then finally your legendary cards. These are all normal foil. I don't think there's going to be any gold foil since it costs almost $200 to unlock one. But you're looking at $9 to just under $20 for gold foils. And let's see, let's look at promos real quick. So Mana Warden is selling 19 cents. Henchling Enforcer, 51 cents. The new card, Sanctus Victor, just under $2. Gold foil Mana Warden for $2.40. Grimbarden Smith still holding pretty strong at $2.72. Gold foil Henchling Enforcer at $4.58. Baron Fiat just under $6. Sanctus Vicar Gold foil just under $15. The legendary Eleanor Bravefoot sitting at $30. Gold foil Grimbarden Smith just under $50. Baron Fiat Gold foil $63. Single copy, single BCX of Mantaroth is $99. And then gold foil cards, Eleanor Bravefoot for $219 and Mantaroth for $350. So those are your promo cards. So overall, Rebellion cards is my big takeaway from this edition of the Market Watch. Really holding their value. Packs have not really sold a whole lot, but the cards are very strong. Summoners are very powerful and desirable. And it's going to be interesting to see where the market trends in the coming weeks and months. So there you have it, guys. There's part 2 of the Market Watch. Hope you enjoyed. If you have any comments, please leave those in the comments below. And until next time, stay the course, keep on forging and have fun, and good luck filling out your Rebellion deck. Take care.